మళ్ళీ Come on, Isha. Let us pray. We give you humble and hearty thanks, O most merciful Father, for the memory and good example of William Thomas Keble, our founder, and all our governors and benefactors, by whose benefit this whole school is brought up to godliness and good learning. We beseech you to give us grace to use these your blessings to the glory of your holy name, that we may answer the good intent of our founder and become profitable members of the church and nation, and at last be partakers of the immortal glory of the resurrection through our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Kindly be seated. The warden of St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, Reverend Mark Billimoria and Mrs. Manisha Billimoria. The school is privileged to honor you both this morning at our annual prize giving, a significant event in our school calendar where we recognize and reward the achievements of the keenest intellects, bringing together the Prep family in a spirit of celebration and comradeship. We are deeply honored by your presence here today. The Bishop of Colombo, your Lordship, the Right Reverend Dushant Rodrigo and Mrs. Shehara Rodrigo, our chaplain, Reverend Andrew Devadasan, members of the Board of Governors, members of the Executive Committee of the All Boys Union, the sectional heads, the members of the tutorial staff, administrative and support staff, heads of schools, parents, and my dear students. A warm welcome to the annual prize giving 2024. Reverend Mark Billimoria has been warden of St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia since January 2015. He is an old boy of the school, and during his student days he achieved success in academic life and participated in many extracurricular activities that earned him his school prefectship. He brought to his role as warden many years of teaching experience, having been personally groomed to be a teacher by the late warden Neville D. Alvis, who recruited him to the tutorial staff no sooner had he ceased to be a student in 1991. After an initial period of service as a teacher, Father Mark left the staff in 1999 to pursue his vocation as an Anglican priest, and was sent by Bishop Kenneth Fernando to Cuddesdon College in Oxford, England, to be trained for the priesthood. After his ordination in 2001, he served 4 parishes before he was invited by Bishop Dulip Dichikera to be 13th headmaster of St. Thomas's College, at Guru Thalava in June 2007. It is a well-documented fact that STC Guru Thalava witnessed a significant revival during his tenure. In August 2011, he was invited by Bishop Diloraj Kanagasabe to be sub-warden and chaplain at St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. In January 2015, the bishop invited Father Mark to be the 19th warden of the college. I was privileged to be his successor, being the 14th headmaster of St. Thomas's College, Guru Thalava, in the year 2012. During past 10 years of his tenure, the college witnessed many developments in all spheres of activities. The standards of academic and extracurricular activities has been maintained consistently high despite the challenges of the COVID years and the economic crisis in 2022. Infrastructure has been upgraded and visitors to the college have been appreciative of the manner in which the entire school and the facilities have been well maintained. During his tenure, numerous new initiatives at the college benefited students. At the end of his second term in office, Father Mark decided to only accept a further term of 2 years in order to lay down his charge as warden at the end of 2024 on completion of 10 full years, and then return to academic life and full-time ministry in the church. Father Mark holds a bachelor's degree in history with a first class and distinction from the University of Pune, India, a postgraduate diploma in theology from the University of Oxford, a diploma in ministry from the Oxford Theological Colleges, and a master's degree in theology from the University of Wales, Trinity St. David's. Mrs. Manisha Bilimoria, a staunch supporter and a friend of the Thomian fraternity. We are honored by your presence here today. Your career as a professional psychotherapist has not taken away from other obligations as a mother and spouse of a clergyman. You have managed to combine these multifaceted duties with remarkable ease, which is why Father Mark has always been able to rely on you as his ever supportive wife. Thank you for graciously performing the most important task of giving away the prizes this morning. Thank you, Reverend Father and Madam, for your distinguished presence here at our annual prize giving for the year 2024 held today. As the timeless adage reminds us, education is the only one thing that no one can take away from you. In today's rapidly evolving world, it is essential to reconsider and reflect on what education truly means. The Oxford Dictionary defines education as the process of teaching, training, and learning, especially within schools, colleges, or universities, to enhance knowledge and develop skills. However, it is important to pause and reflect on the deeper role that we as educators play in shaping the future. We are not merely imparting facts and theories. We are tasked with molding young minds, nurturing not just intellect but character, values, and a sense of responsibility. The Thomian schools, with their rich and storied tradition, have long been recognized for cultivating young men of exceptional moral fortitude and social consciousness, individuals who throughout history have stood steadfastly by their nation through times of triumph and adversity. As educators in these hallowed institutions, we bear the responsibility of continuing this noble legacy. It is our solemn duty to ensure that the generations we nurture are equipped not only with academic prowess, but also with the strength of character to navigate the complexities of an ever-changing world. We find ourselves at a critical juncture. In a world increasingly driven by the pursuit of wealth, power, and prestige, there is a palpable decline in humanity and social concern. We must ask ourselves, how do we, as educators, respond to this erosion of empathy and compassion? The need for a more humane and just society has never been more urgent. If we fail to impart these essential values of integrity, empathy, and social responsibility, then we risk not only failing our students, but our nation itself in its hour of need. It is not enough to produce graduates who are academically proficient. We must raise individuals who are committed to the greater good, who recognize their duty to contribute to society in meaningful ways. This is the true essence of education, a holistic process that develops not just the intellect, but the heart and soul of a nation. As we continue this mission, let us ensure that we remain steadfast in our commitment to creating a society that values justice, compassion, and human dignity. And now, moving forward, allow me to share some insights on the happenings at prep school for the academic year 2024. Numbers. The statistics at the school census for 2024 shows a total of 1,078 on roll. Sons of all boys and Christians continue to be given preference in the matter of school admission. Staff. The tutorial staff is necessarily the strength of the school, and the quality of education and training imparted to children will reflect their character, attitudes, and dedication to their sacred responsibility. I wish to express my sentiments of gratitude to the three sectional heads, namely Mr. Nilushan Silva, Ms. Yvonne Charles, and Mrs. Nishanti Logaraj, who have been my pillars of strength. You have always supported me as I carried out my duties. Also the prefect of discipline, Mr. Upul Navaratna. Prefect of games, Mrs. Nirmala Hariharan. Prefect of extracurricular activities, Mr. Gayan Binduheva. And the school's accountant, Mrs. Ashwini Gunasekara, for your unstinted support and dedication. I must mention the departing of some of our key members of the tutorial staff during the academic year 2024. You can refer their names on page 6. Mr. Maurice Ernest Veragoda, a retired and long-standing member of our staff, passed away in August this year. He devoted over 25 years of service to the school as a staff member, sectional head of the middle school, group scout leader of the 39th Colombo Scout Group and master in charge of rugby. Mr. Veragoda's mortal remains were brought to the school and laid to rest in the Fort Rose building, where the prep school community gathered to pay their final respect. As a mark of respect, shall we all stand and remain silent for a while? May Mr. Maurice Veragoda rest in peace and rise in glory. Please be seated. Induction of school prefects. The induction of school prefects took place in the school hall, with 25 prefects being appointed in 2024. Master N.D. Augustine was appointed school captain, and Master Bilal Rifas was appointed games captain. Mr. N.M.U.D.B. Navaratna continued to carry out his duties as the prefect of discipline as he guided the prefects throughout the year. The Old Boys Union. The Old Boys Union, also known as the Prep OBU, was established in 1978 during the tenure of then headmaster Mr. J.S.L. Fernando. The OBU continues to play an integral role in the functioning of the school, showing much concern and commitment, for which I am truly grateful. And I have given OBU Executive Committee their names on page 7. The Parent Teacher Association. The re-establishing of the Parent Teacher Association, known as the PTA, was initiated in the year 2024. The inaugural meeting was held on the 10th of June 2024 at 6 p.m. at the school hall. The office bearers were appointed and began their duties on this day, and they continue to serve with dedication and commitment. Their names appear on page 8. Reflecting on an academic excellence. As a renowned philosopher, Aristotle once said, education is the best provision for old age. Education is truly the one possession that no one can ever take away from us. It shapes our lives, opens doors to opportunities, and strengthens our communities. At S.Thomas Preparatory School, our mission is to ensure that every child entrusted to us receives the finest education, not only in terms of academic achievements, but also in the values that will guide them in their lives. Recognizing outstanding achievements in academics, I must begin by recognizing members of the tutorial staff for their achievements in the field of education. As they steer the students towards excelling in their academics, our educators remain committed to improving themselves, and they have been recognized for their significant efforts. Mrs. Saranga Vikramage, the maestro of the school orchestra, a humble yet extremely gifted teacher of our school, was recognized for his excellence in the field of music at the Dharma Prabhashwara Salutation Awards 2024, which provides a platform for Christian artists on a proud journey. The ceremony is organized jointly by the National Catholic Social Communication Center with the Department of Christian Religious Affairs. Mr. Vikramage, who is not only a graduate of the Bhatkanda Sanskriti University, Lucknow, India, and the Indira Kala Sangeet University, Karegha, India, but also a gold medalist, was honored for his contribution as a composer, musician, and we are proud that he is the omniscient narrator of the Prep Orchestra and a series of Ganda concerts staged by Prep School community. So let us give him a big round of applause. Mr. Upul Navaratna, another member of the tutorial staff, was recognized for his contribution towards the field of education at the award ceremony organized by the Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, SLIT. He was awarded the Best Teacher Award in recognition of excellence in community engagement in general education in the Western Province at the National Education Awards 2024. He has made significant efforts as a science teacher at Prep School, coined with being the master in charge of the Environmental Society, to implement many projects which are aimed at producing many environmentalists from the Prep School community. We take pride in the recognition gained by him for his efforts and are honored to have him as a member of our staff. Let us give him a big round of applause as well. Our students have continued to excel at the highest levels. The result of the GCE Ordinary Level Examination for 2023 held in May 2024 were truly remarkable. Out of the 98 students who sat for the examination, 87 students qualified to continue on to the GCE Advanced Level. A special mention must be made of 4 students who obtained 9 A's, namely Taruka Kuruparachi, Kenoth Padmasiri, Nuanga Jayatunga, and Siat Pereira. We also congratulate Aaron Young, Shevon Pillay, Vimat Nanya Kara, Hassan Rashid, Rishon Vikramasinghe, Dulen Alaha Peruma, Tenupa Netmira, Veera Sudan Samuel, Bihand Wetmin, Liran Vas, and Net Vijay Sundara, who earned 8 A's each. These achievements stand as a testament to their hard work and the commitment of their teachers. In addition, we celebrate Pamula Fernando, a student from our preparatory school who won the Computer Society of Sri Lanka ICT Student Award, the highest recognition in the ICT sphere for Sri Lankan students. We are incredibly proud of his achievements. Achievements in sports. Our students have excelled in sports, exemplifying dedication, discipline, and teamwork. Athletics. I take pride in congratulating Shandiban Tribashit, who has set new records and dominated the Western Province competitions, reaching new heights in high jump, clearing 9.95 meters, which is a new meet record at the Sri Lanka Athletics Junior National Championship. He participated in the Ministry of Sports Western Province Under 16 category and was placed first, clearing 1.85 meters. Tribashit was placed first in the Western Province School Games, clearing 1.89 meters. He was awarded colors for clearing 1.88 meters by the Sri Lanka School Athletic Association. Also in the Sir John Tarbert Senior Championship, he was placed first by clearing 1.88 meters. In the All Island School Games, Tribashit was placed first, clearing 1.93 meters, and he became the champion of the Sir John Tarbert Under 16 category. We'll give him another round of applause. Cricket. Under 15 cricket team had an outstanding season in the Sri Lanka School Cricket Association Under 15 Division 2 tournament. They dominated the league stage, finishing at the top of their group without losing a single match. Their incredible performance took them all the way to the quarterfinals. Although the team ultimately fell short in the quarterfinals, their achievements and resilience stood out. The key performer and the captain of the under 15 team, Shavin Fernando, scored an impressive 621 runs in 11 innings, making him the top runner scorer in Division 2. Vihan Sivasitamparam with 371 runs. He ranked third in the most runs scored list. Runs Situ Suresh Chandra contributed 362 runs, placing him fourth in the Division 2 scoring leaderboard. These performances highlight the strength of our batting lineup and set a high standard for the team moving forward. Under 17 cricket. Under 17 team competed in Division 3, showcasing consistent skill and determination. They were unbeaten through the league stage, finishing at the top of their group. However, they were knocked out in the pre-quarterfinals. Under 13 cricket, you can go through, but then something to share with you. Jevan Gunatilaka was awarded the runner-up title for the best all-round player in the under 15 Division 2 category at the Sri Lanka Schools Cricket Award ceremony. This award recognizes outstanding performance during the 2023 season marking him as a promising talent of our school. Tennis, Parvesh Sivapalan. A promising player has won many awards in the past. This year he has become champion in the ACM Nigambo CS Challenge. He was also named champion in the All Island Open Ranking Tournament Category 2 and is ranked number 4 in Sri Lanka. Another student from our school, E.S. Jayavira Bandara, has achieved an impressive 15th place in the All Island Under 12 category tournament. Badminton. I take great pride in announcing that Dwayne Jayakodi has been selected to the Badminton Under 17 national pool. Rugby. I congratulate Under 16 rugby team as they emerged champions in the All Island Rugby Tournament hosted by the Sri Lanka School Rugby Football Association for the Premier Division for the year 2024, which was held on the 23rd and 24th of November in Galle. Our school's Under 16 rugby team successfully got through the quarter-finals against CWW Kanangara 5-0 and semi-finals against Ibagamur Central College 15-5. They faced off against CMS Kote in the cup finals in an intense and challenging game, finally emerging as cup champions after ending with a score of 5-0. This marks the second time in Prep's history that the Under 16 rugby team has achieved this feat, in the first time being in the year 2019. Under 12 team won the Quadrangle Cup against St. Thomas's College Mount Lebanon, while under 14 players became the champions in the Harfa tournament against St. Thomas's College Mount Lebanon. They emerged runners-up in the Quadrangle Cup as they were pitted against St. Thomas's College Mount Lebanon and emerged runners-up in the Rugby Carnival, beating St. Peter's College. A special mention must be made to our star players, Yasin Asung Kabo and Abdul Qadir Mashish, who displayed a powerhouse of talent on the field as they played for the Under 14 team. Among other distinct victories to our credit, our Under team and Under 16 teams emerged champions in the annual encounter against St. Thomas's College Guru Talava. The Under 16 team was crowned as champion in the Rugby Carnival against St. Thomas's College Mount Lebanon. Football. Our students continue to show much enthusiasm towards playing football. In the W.T. Keeble Memorial Soccer Encounter played against St. Thomas's College Bandaravela, our Under 15 and Under 17 teams emerged champions, putting up a fantastic show that thrilled the entire prep school community. Basketball. The Under 13 team became plate runners-up in the All Island Guyana Mid-Denier Trophy. Under 15 C Division team will be playing the national level tournament. Also just last week, our Under 15 basketball team emerged cup runners as they were pitted against Ananda College in the C Division finals of the All Island Basketball Tournament held at the KDU basketball courts. Showing much promise, our team stood out for their outstanding performance, showcasing team spirit and skill. Abdul Qadir Mashis received the Best Defensive Player Award. Chess. Johann Steve Reginald participated in the Under 16 Western Province Zonal Level Tournament and won the first place. He participated in the national level tournament and was rated 96. Johan participated in the international tournament as well, which was held in Hong Kong and was rated as STD 1464, 1501 and Bliss 1451. Karate. Sri Lanka Karate Do Federation under the Ministry of Sports organized National Full Contact Karate Championship in the under 12 in level 1 category. In the above event, Juvit Mahagam Arachi was placed first and Danuja Bandara was placed third. Significant event for the year 2024. Kala Maduram, a Tamil cultural concert held at New Kadiresan Hall on 12th September 2024. This event, which was held for the first time in the history of the school, provided the students with a greater opportunity to showcase their talents of the Tamil students of prep school. It was a roaring success and received rare reviews from the audience. Gandhar 4, the fourth leg of the biennial orchestral concert, was held at the BMICH on the 17th of October. Renowned musician Mr. Kirti Pascual performed with prep school orchestra, making the first time a household name in the music industry was part of this concert. Prep Night Pulse 2024, a carnival organized by the Prefects Guild, was held in the school premises on the 9th of August. The primary purpose was to provide the prefects with a real-world experience in finance, organization, and management, while giving the attendees of the event a joyful experience. All profits were directed toward the renovation of the school art room. All-Island Carnatic Music and Bharatanatyam Competition 2024, adding yet another feather to its cap. St. Thomas's Preparatory School was placed second in the senior group dance category and third in the junior group dance category at the national level in the All-Island Carnatic Music Bharatanatyam Competition 2024 held in Trincomalee on the 9th of November. The primary section had its annual concert titled Little Legends Live this year at the Bishop's College Auditorium on the 12th of November. It sets the stage for our little prepites to showcase their talent and was a roaring success. Carol service. The choir ushered in the Christmas spirit with their 67th annual Festival of 9 Lessons and Carols at the Church of St. Michael and All Angels, Polvatta, on Sunday, 8th December. For this year's service, Mr. Harin Amirthanathan, choir master, had chosen a custom program of carols from the English tradition, both traditional and contemporary. The carol service also featured the past Prepite choir. The choir was accompanied by the organist Denham Pereira and officiated by Reverend Andrew Devadasan, the chaplain of the school. Infrastructure development. Infrastructure development in a school is a critical aspect of creating an environment conducive to effective learning and overall student growth. It involves the creation, renovation, and maintenance of physical facilities such as classrooms, libraries, sports facilities, administrative offices, and recreational spaces. A well-developed school infrastructure ensures that students have access to modern educational tools and technologies, creating a space that encourages engagement, collaboration, and creativity. Moreover, a well-planned infrastructure development includes ensuring accessibility for all and facilities designed to cater to students. The inclusion of sustainable features such as energy efficient systems, rainwater harvesting, and waste management also plays a crucial role in promoting environmental responsibility. Incorporating safety features is another fundamental component of school infrastructure development. Overall, a comprehensive and forward-thinking infrastructure plan ensures that students and staff operate in an environment supporting educational excellence. Among many projects successfully implemented during this year, the restoration of the middle school building was yet another significant project that was completed during this year. The classrooms and the hall were restored with all the facilities required for the smooth functioning of the section. The open air theatre, the first of its kind at prep school, was declared open this year. It was my vision to provide the facility to all students for them to identify and showcase their talent on stage. As part of a series of events that were part of the opening of this facility, for the very first time, the teachers performed at a private gathering involving only members of the staff, which was an evening of camaraderie and entertainment. The AI lab was established in the school, thus providing the students with the facilities that are needed to keep up with modern technology. The art room was refurbished and converted into a modern creative space that provides a conducive environment for our artists to thrive. An educational tool that teaches students the importance of being environmentally conscious. The rainwater harvesting project was initiated, resulting in the construction of the harvesting facilities officially declared open this year. This project encourages students to use the knowledge imparted in the classroom in their day-to-day life. We witness the enthusiasm our students displayed towards establishing this facility within the school premises. It was done through the initiative of Mr. Upul Navaratna, a senior member of the staff who is also a master in charge of the environmental society of our school. The construction of the boundary wall, which was collapsed, but it was constructed with the assistance of the Sri Lanka Army Engineering Department, was completed earlier this year. It was through the initiative of Mr. Ruan Vijayvardhana, an old boy and deputy leader of UNP. I must convey my gratitude to the commander of Sri Lanka Army as they provided free labor for the construction while we spent on the material required for the construction. The declaring open of the Marine Drive entrance took place this year, which in turn added to the convenience of the school community. Cricket nets were installed in the school grounds, which enhances the facilities provided to our budding cricketers, who show much promise and bring glory to their alma mater. Conclusion. It is with deep sense of gratitude and humility that I stand before you this morning, reflecting on the journey that has brought me to this point. A 13-year journey shaped by service, challenges, and the immense privilege of being part of the rich tradition of St. Thomas's colleges. In the year 2000, I began my journey with St. Thomas's as a chaplain of the college at Guruthalava, for which I owe my gratitude to the then Bishop, the Right Reverend Dulip Dichikera, for the appointment for 3 years. Until 2003, I had the honor of serving not just as a spiritual guide, but also as a full-time teacher and counselor. Those early years were pivotal, allowing me to witness the unique charm of Guruthalava and the incredible potential of its students. Fast forward in 2012, I was entrusted with the role of being the 14th headmaster of St. Thomas's College, Guru Talava, succeeding our chief guest for today, Father Mark Billy Moria. Those 6 years were marked by relentless focus on rejuvenation and progress. Together with my dedicated team, we undertook several transformative projects, including the refurbishment of the existing swimming pool, the renovation of the primary school hostel, junior dormitory, the construction of roads within the premises. None of these accomplishments would have been possible without the steadfast support of my managers then, Mr. Merrill Aluvihare and Mr. Senaka Fonseca, whose unwavering commitment I will always cherish. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Bishop Dilo Raj Kanagasabe and the members of the Board of Governors for their guidance and encouragement during that time. In 2021, I was humbled to be appointed as the 6th headmaster of St. Thomas's Preparatory School, Kolupitia, by Bishop Dushi and the Board of Governors. With this new chapter came the opportunity to reinvigorate the institution that holds such a significant place in the hearts of many. Under my stewardship, but with the team and the old boys and the generous donors, we undertook projects that gave a complete facelift to the school, including the transformation of the quadrangle, the restoration of the middle school building, construction of an open-air theatre, the implementation of a rainwater harvesting system, and the reconstruction of the boundary wall. These efforts, combined with a renewed emphasis on sports and co-curricular activities, have raised the standards and ensured that prep school continues to be a beacon of excellence. As I look back on these years, 13 years, I am profoundly aware that none of this could have been achieved without the unwavering support and collaboration of so many. To the Lord Bishop, to the Board of Governors, thank you for entrusting me with these responsibilities and for your encouragement at every step. I would be failing in my duty if I did not express my deepest gratitude to the staff of this great institution. From the very moment I assumed office, you have embraced me as your headmaster and worked tirelessly to support me in every endeavor. Your commitment to our shared vision has been the driving force behind the transformation we have witnessed. This journey has not been one that I have walked alone. It is your dedication, collaboration, and faith in our mission that have allowed us to uphold the Thomian ethos and strive for excellence in all aspects of the school life. I'm also grateful to my school managers, Mrs. Nirmali Vikramasinghe and Mr. Jit Varnakula Surya, as they served during my tenure as the headmaster. Thank you for all your support and guidance. To my colleagues, parents, and students, your faith and dedication have been my driving force. I must use this opportunity to deliver my sincere gratitude to the Prep All Boys Union for all the support and encouragement given to your school and our school. It is your love and commitment towards the betterment of the school that acts as part of the strong support system established here. As I bid farewell, my heart is full of gratitude for the blessings I have received and lifelong relationships I have built within the Thomian family and fraternity. While this chapter may close, my commitment to St. Thomas's and its enduring legacy will remain unwavering. As we move forward together, May we continue to seek God's guidance and grace in shaping the future of St. Thomas's Preparatory School. Let us remain steadfast in our commitment to fostering a community that nurtures character, wisdom, and service. Thank you all, and may God bless the Thomian community as it continues to strive for the highest. I have to say two mottos since I have served two schools. The Lord is my good shepherd, S.Thomas Perpetua. Thank you, and God bless you.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the path. Not a
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure to announce the launch of our much anticipated school magazine 2023. This publication is a reflection of the talent, hard work, and creativity of our editorial team. Now the copies of the magazine will be handed to our esteemed guests. Now I invite our esteemed chief guest this morning, Reverend Mark Birimodia, the Warden of St. Thomas College, Mark Lavinia, to deliver his speech.
The Right Reverend Dushanta Rodrigo, Bishop of Colombo, Venerable Christopher Balraj, Archdeacon of Colombo, Reverend Fathers, Father Nihal Fernando, Headmaster of St. Thomas's Preparatory School, Father Andrew Devadasan, the Chaplain, members of the Board of Governors, the Subwarden of St. Thomas's Mount Lavinia, Headmasters of St. Thomas's Gurutalava and Bandaravela, sectional heads and members of the tutorial, administrative and support staff of St. Thomas's Preparatory School, all boys, parents and children. It gives me great joy to be present here today as chief guest, not just because it is a school within the wider Thomian family, and because in recent years I have had the great privilege of working very closely with Bishop Dushanta when he was headmaster, and then Father Nihal over the last few years. But also because I have a personal link to the school. It is not a well-known fact, but prep school was the first place that my father tried to admit me, as he was himself an old boy here, having been a student during the tenure of Headmaster J.T.R. Perimpanayagam, before going on from here to Royal College, as some did then and some still do. So his first choice of a school for me on our return to Colombo from a period in Gampaha, where I had attended Holy Cross Convent for a year, was prep school. I still remember being brought to see Mr. J.S.L. Fernando one afternoon in 1979 at his quarters below the chapel, if I remember right, that's where it was, and hearing him tell my father that unfortunately there were no vacancies and that he was too late. I remember then being taken to St. Peter's College, where my paternal grandfather and my father's two brothers had studied. But again, Father Clever Pereira, who was the rector and a close friend of the family, had also had to say no room, too late. And so STC Mount Lavinia was my father's last choice because he was a royalist. But he gave it a try, and thanks to the intervention of the late Mr. Lin Dasanayaka, the manager of the school, the warden, Mr. Lin Ilangakun, admitted me to grade 3, and I joined Mount in 1980. I was just thinking as I was preparing this speech, how different things may have turned out for me had I been admitted to prep at that time and gone from here to Mount or from here to Royal College, who knows. Father Nihal, I must thank you for your kind invitation to me and Manisha to be chief guest at this important school event. It has been a privilege to have served with you over the years, and I am glad that I will be the last chief guest of your tenure in office here, which from all accounts that I have heard from old boys has been a very productive and successful one. So may I offer you and add to all the congratulations that you will receive at the end of your tenure. Usually chief guests at prize givings are expected to make profound statements about the state of the education system or how education should be undertaken in modern times, etc. But I want to speak today about 3 things that I think are special about prep school. Firstly, your school has a fascinating origin. The history of St. Thomas's College records how prep school was born. And it is recorded that it was at the prize giving of the college held on the 3rd of February 1938 with Dr. Lujan de Silva as chief guest that the warden Canon R.S. de Seram, open quotes, made specific mention of a new preparatory school to come up at Stuart Place, Colpetty, and announced the appointment of Mr. W.T. Keeble as its first headmaster, close quotes. Dr. R.L. Heyman, who was a very close friend of Mr. W.T. Keeble, in fact both of them had come out to Sri Lanka together in the 1920s, has written this about the foundations of prep school, open quotes. Up to 1938, there had been a single St. Thomas's College at Mount Lavinia. Mr. W.T. Keeble, though a valued member of the Mount Lavinia staff, had always felt keenly the desirability of providing a separate school for junior boys, where their special needs could be supplied by a staff dedicated to that end. At first, this idea met with little support from those concerned because it was foreign to the Thomian way, and of course it had never been done in Warden Stone's time. Mr. Keeble did not give in easily, and in time obtained a powerful ally in Warden de Seram. Only he could have persuaded the Board of Governors to sanction a start on such a radical change in the working of the college, close quotes. All those associated with prep school know the rest of the story, but Dr. Heyman's telling of it is worth repeating briefly. He writes, open quotes, "The chosen site for the new school was a big house between Gall Road and the sea in Colpetty. It belonged to the Stuart Trust, which had to be convinced of not only the desirability of making it available, but of doing so at a very low rent. There was the question of playing fields, and sanction had to be obtained to use part of the Bishop's and Archdeacon of Colombo's garden for this purpose. Again, it was the warden who was instrumental in bringing the negotiations to a successful conclusion, and it was he who provided some of the necessary furniture from St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia. Looking back, I am astonished," writes Dr. Heyman, "at the temerity of those who founded the prep school with little capital, few assets, and at a time when the world was under the threat of a devastating war." Close quotes. Little capital, few assets, and under the threat of war was how prep school opened on the 17th of May 1938. And the rest, as they say, is history. Over the years, prep school has grown and even outgrown the founders' original intentions by going up to O-level classes. But it has never failed the founder's vision that it be a school that prepares boys for life. There is so much that can be done here to ensure that when boys go out from here, they will be strong in mind, body and spirit, with a sense of community and respect for all people, having worked and played together in their formative years together here. So here at Prep, you have a rich inherited tradition, despite your unique identity within the Thomian family. And since 1938, the same ideals and the same vision that fired Bishop Chapman in 1851 have been at work here. And you today need to celebrate that heritage to which you belong. Secondly, your school has a unique character as a preparatory school. There is a popular saying that it is not for the sake of school that we study, but for life. And this applies more aptly to a preparatory school education than to any other. Prep schools were founded not just to provide a solid foundation for academic excellence, but also to encourage young boys to explore their boyhood interests and to develop a love for lifelong learning. As I watched that video just a moment ago and was listening to Father Nihal's report, it is so clear that prep school continues to fulfill this. Prep schools also help boys develop skills like communication, collaboration, and problem solving early on in life that helps them to build self-confidence and independence later on. They also provide space for young boys to explore a wide range of extracurricular activities which are part of the holistic education that are on offer. Now, this is not to say that such things are not part of the education offered in larger schools, but that the environment of a prep school is more intimate and more personalized, and the community more intimate and personal to facilitate that learning. So your identity as a prep school needs to be celebrated and kept at the foremost of your mind. Finally, St. Thomas's Prep has endless potential before it, as do so many of our schools. The future is always full of endless possibilities. Where does prep school fit in the wider scheme of things today? Prep has an advantage that most of the other schools don't have, because it is comparatively a small school, and there is much to be said for a small school, not in a derogatory sense. Small schools can create and foster an environment in which no child will be lost at the back of a classroom. Small schools ensure a better teacher-to-student ratio that in turn creates the valuable space for teachers to truly engage with and understand each child in their care, not just in academic terms, but also personally. And I think that is a strength here in prep. In small schools, children develop a deep sense of mutual belonging as they form lasting bonds with both their classmates as well as their teachers. Small schools also provide space for daily connection between children of different grades that can be very helpful in building meaningful relationships outside of their own peer groups, which is not always possible in larger schools with 5 or 6 or even 7 parallel classes. There is also potential in small schools for a daily connection with all members of the teaching staff that can lead to each student's individual needs being known and their unique characteristics being appreciated by all the teachers. So prep as a small school can provide a personalized learning experience, a much stronger sense of community, much more enhanced student engagement, space for holistic development, opportunities for leadership for all, not just a few, flexible teaching methods and approaches, a much stronger relationship between the home and the school, a much safer and more secure learning environment. These things exist perhaps in other schools, but they are more evident and more possible in small schools. When I say small, small in numbers, like yours. And that's why you need to protect your identity as a prep school and a small school at all costs. Before I conclude, I must say a word about the precious connection between prep school and the college at Mount Lavinia. Although Mr. Keeble gave prep a unique identity with its own crest, colors, motto and school song, composed and written by Miss Lydia Blanchard, it emerged as part of the college, as the history I mentioned at the outset shows, and was always meant to remain part and parcel of the wider Thomian family. Many outstanding students of the prep school came on to Mount Lavinia to enrich the life of the school there in years gone by, whether through academic or extracurricular achievement. I am reminded of some outstanding sportsmen from my time as a student and as a teacher. Names like Asanga Seneviratna, the Diseram brothers, the Tisera brothers, Gihan Dias, Jeevan and Jayan Gunatilaka, among others. Sadly, over the years, even when we were schoolboys, the relationship between the two schools fluctuated. And there was a time when many prep school boys were even afraid to come over to Mount Lavinia. But I can assure you that over the past 10 years, much has been done to ensure that boys who come to the college from prep school, from Gurutalava or from Bandaravela, now have the smoothest of transitions. The orientation program and welcome that we initiated in 2016 has ensured that all forms of unacceptable initiation, for want of a better term, ragging, have been banned, and all boys are welcomed warmly to the main school through that orientation program. The days of grub, the days of having to bring treats, the days of having to stand on tables and sing songs in the first week of school are all history. The head prefect of prep school, as well as the other two schools, is given a full tuition scholarship and is appointed a house prefect as soon as he comes to the school. Discrimination is not permitted in any form against any of the boys who join us at post-O level. A number of your former head prefects have come over to Mount and excelled there during my tenure as warden and have contributed immensely to the life of the college. And I'm so proud of them. I must make special mention of Anuk Dharmasena, Sachin Pilapitiya, Dimitri Jayavardhana, Janit Dasanayaka, and Pankaja Veerasekara, just to name 5, who made a significant impact on the life of the college at Mount Lavinia. We now have an MOU with PrEP that Father Nihal and I signed a few months ago, where we share sports facilities and resources, and where our relationships has been strengthened. The two schools have a bond that has never been stronger, and although both Father Nihal and I will be leaving, I'm sure our respective successors will keep these bonds strong. I'm sure all those associated with prep school must be sad to see Father Nihal retire. But looking around the school as I came in today, it is clear that he has left his stamp upon it, in the same way that he left his stamp on our school in Gurutalava, where he served for 5 years. He is leaving some pretty big shoes for someone to fill. And I wish whoever that person be all the very best in taking over from Father Nihal, which will not be an easy task. Thank you again for your welcome this morning and for your patient listening. I wish this school all God's blessings and every success as it continues to journey as a school in the Thomian tradition, a small school celebrating a wonderful community. Esto Perpetua, the Lord is my shepherd.
Thank you, Reverend Sir, for your inspiring words and sharing some history about our school. Thank you, sir. I am pleased to invite Mrs. Billy Moria to join us in recognizing and honoring the achievements of our deserving winners by presenting the prizes to the students of the middle school. Prize winners 2024, Grade 6, General Proficiency. The Swarnam Sivaprahasam Memorial Prize, presented by her daughter, Dr. Mrs. Shamista Dizoiza, 6A S. Mirdad, 6B N. Ashwin, 6C J. Megashia. Divinity. Prizes presented by Mr. R. Yatavara, an old boy. 6A PMN Piris, 6B MS Dizoiza, 6C R.A. Ravikumar. Buddhism. Prizes presented by Mr. V.K. Alawa, an old boy. Bayar Kannangara. Hinduism. Prizes presented by Mr. Sittambalam Nalinathan, an old boy. G. Vinayagan. Islam. Prizes presented by Mr. Amid Yusuf Ali, an old boy. MIA Mufli. First language Sinhala Tamil. LJDS Seneviratna Memorial Prize, presented by his son, the late Mr. LC Seneviratna, PC, an old boy. 6A Bayar Kannangara, 6B IMGS Ilangakon, 6C S. Mirdad. English second language CMP Vanigatunga Memorial Prize, presented by members of his family. 6A S. Mirdad, 6B BSK Mendis, 6C AGV Singhara. Mathematics, Mr. and Mrs. T.M. Dwight Memorial Prize, presented by their daughter, Miss Christabel Dwight. 6A S. Mirdad, 6B N. Ashwin, 6C J. Megashyam. Science, the Aban Pestonji Memorial Prize, presented by Mr. P.N. Pestonji, an old boy. 6A G. Vinayagan, 6B N. Ashwin, 6C J. Megashyam. Health and Physical Education, the E. D.S. Vijayaratna Memorial Prize, presented by his son, Justice Douglas Vijayaratna, an old boy. 6A G. Vinayagan, 6B N. Ashwin, 6C J. Megashya. History. The Abang Pestunji Memorial Prize presented by Mr. P. N. Pestunji, an old boy, 6A V. Harishan, 6B J. Abish, 6C J. Megashyam. Geography. 6A Y.R. Khanangara, 6B N. Ashwin, 6C J. Megashyam. Art. The Colonel David N. Rockwood Memorial Prize, presented by his son, Mr. Sukumar Rockwood, an old boy, S.T. Meragalge, D.A. Dinesh Khan. Western Music. Miss L.A.L. Blanchard Memorial Prize, presented by Dr. and Mrs. L.G. Gunawardana, S. Mirdad. Eastern Music, Y.R. Khanangara. Dancing, not awarded. Link Language. The JLD Peiris Memorial Prize, presented by his son, the late Mr. H.C. Peiris, an old boy, the Peiris Foundation. 6A Y.R. Khanangara, 6B M.S. Risoiza, 6C S. Mirdad and R.A. Ravikumar. Practical Technology, prize presented by the late Mr. P.I. Peiris, an old boy, 6A Y.R. Khanangara, 6B N. Ashwin, 6C J. Megashyam. Information and Communication Technology, 6A VDR Fernando, 6B N. Ashwin and J. Abish, 6C J. Megashyam. The Mrs. Berna Gunawardana Memorial Prize, the student who beat his own mark, presented by Mrs. Manjula P. Batwantudave, 6A V. Harishan, 6B W.A.M.A. Fernando, 6C P.S.D. Costa. The Mrs. Enrita Kurkulusurya Memorial Prize for the Best All-Round Student in Grade 6, presented by members of her family, S. Mirdad. The Miss Karna Mary Karna Ratna Memorial Prize for the Best Student in Grade 6, presented by Mrs. C. Karunaratna and Mrs. S.M. Gunavardhana in Ashwin. Grade 7 General Proficiency. The Ravindran Jnanamuthu Memorial Prize presented by his parents Mr. and Mrs. V.C. Jnanamuthu. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7B S. Kartigan, 7C P. Shamiksh. Divinity. The Raja Asirvada Memorial Prize presented by a member of his family. 7A J.E. Vijayaratna, 7B A.J. Cruz, 7C J.A.H. Joseph. Buddhism. The T. Simon Mendes Memorial Prize presented by Mr. and Mrs. Serarat Mendes. E. S. Javira Bandara. Hinduism. The K. Balasubramanian Memorial Prize presented by his parents Mr. and Mrs. M. Kanapadi, S. Kartihan. Islam. The Mr. and Mrs. I.L.A. Muhammad Memorial Prize presented by their sons Mr. M.M. Mazouk and Mr. M.M. Ansari, all boys. M.T. Azad. First language Sinhala, Tamil. The Bertie Fernando Memorial Prize presented by his son, the late Wing Commander Noel Fernando, SLAF, retired. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7B L.O.S.O. Pereira, 7C S. Kartigan. English second language. The Mrs. Noeline Pereira Memorial Prize presented by her husband, the late Mr. M.M. Mazouk and Mudaliar Bassett Pereira. 7A W.D.A. Soisa and Y.J. Rajkumar, 7B A.J. Cruz, 7C M.T. Azad. Mathematics. The Mrs. Esther Lizzie de Souza Memorial Prize presented by Mr. and Mrs. Serarat Mendes. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7B S. Kartigan, 7C M.T. Azad. Science. Mrs. Aladdin Rosa de Zoiza Prize presented by Mr. and Mrs. Serarat Mendes. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7B S. Kartigan, 7C P. Shamiksh. Health and Physical Education. The Sellamuthu Pillai Muruganandan Memorial Prize presented by his parents Mr. and Mrs. Sellamuthu Pillai. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7B A.J. Cruz, 7C P. Shamiksh. History. The Sellamuthu Pillai Muruganandan Memorial Prize presented by his parents Mr. and Mrs. Sellamuthu Pillai. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7B S. Kartigan, 7C P. Shamiksh. Geography. 7A E.S. Javira Bandara, 7 7B R.S. Adish Vahin, 7C P. Shamiksh. Art. The G.P.F. Bandara Memorial Prize, presented by his son, the late Mr. G.R.M. Bandara, an old boy. D.D. Giganage, P. Shamiksh. Western Music. The G.P.F. Bandara Memorial Prize, presented by his son, the late Mr. G.R.M. Bandara, an old boy, A.J. Cruz. Eastern Music, W.S.D. Soiza. Dancing, not awarded. Link Language. The Mervyn St. S. Castchetti Memorial Prize, presented by members of his family. 7A, L.O.S.O. Pereira. 7B, G.S.H.K. Dias. 7C, S. Karthigan. Practical Technology. The Selamuthu Pillai Muruganandan Memorial Prize, presented by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. Selamuthu Pillai. 7A, E.S. Javira Bandara. 7B, S. Karthigan. 7C, H.K.J. Anusara. Information and Communication Technology. 7A, E.S. Javira Bandara. 7B, S. Karthigan. 7C, T.S. Vikramasekara. The Student Who Beat His Own Mark, presented by the old boys of the 1998 batch. 7A, K. Haricharan. 7B, LGVM Vikrama. 7C, Y.E. Jasundara. The Dr. Eric Karunaratne Memorial Prize for the Best All-Round Student in Grade 7, presented by his son, Dr. Manjula Karunaratne, an old boy, P. Shamiksh. The Miss Mary Karunaratne Memorial Prize for the Best Student in Grade 7, presented by Mr. C. Karunaratne and Mrs. S.M. Gunavardhana, S. Karthigan. Grade 8, General Proficiency. The Justice C.B. Balagampaya Memorial Prize, presented by his son, Dr. G.N.B. Balagampaya. 8A, A. Thiambikesh. 8B, S. Kiritukesh. 8C, S.B. Rajakaruna. Divinity. The Reverend Brian Thirimana Memorial Prize, presented by his wife, Mrs. Ranji Thirimana. 8A, A.J. Kamalraj. 8B, A.A. Arya Singha. 8C, D. Ko. Buddhism. Prizes presented by Dr. G.W. Jayasuriya, an old boy, S.A.S. Dinethu. Hinduism, the K. Balasubramanian Memorial Prize, presented by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. M. Kanapadi, R. Minoshigan. Islam, Mr. and Mrs. I.L.M. Muhammad Memorial Prize, presented by their sons, Mr. M.M. Mazu and Mr. M.M. Ansari, all boys, by R. Liaquat. First language, Sinhala, Tamil. Prize presented by Mr. Vimsi Sinathambi and all boy. 8A, PMC De Silva. 8B, SB Rajakaruna. 8C, A. Tyabikesh. English, second language, Mrs. Falil Abdul Ghafoor Memorial Prize, presented by the members of the family. 8A, A.J. Kamal Raj. 8B, A.A. Arya Singh. 8C, J. Pavitran. Mathematics, prizes presented by Mr. Ramesh Kanakaratna and old boy. 8A, A. Tyambikesh. 8B, S. Kirtikesh. 8C, SB Rajakaruna. Science, prizes presented by Mr. Ramesh Kanakaratna and old boy. 8A, A. Tyambikesh. 8B, S. Kirtikesh. 8C, SB Rajakaruna. Health and Physical Education, the Dr. S.A. Javikrama and Mrs. Phoebe Javikrama Memorial Prize, presented by their son, Mr. P.E.A. Javikrama and old boy. 8A, Y.N. Disanaika. 8B, P.W.G.D.M.A. De Silva. 8C, R. Minoshigan. History, the Dr. S.A. Javikrama and Mrs. Phoebe Javikrama Memorial Prize, presented by their son, Mr. P.E.A. Javikrama and old boy. 8A, A. Tyambikesh. 8B, S. Kirtikesh. 8C, R. Minoshigan. Geography, 8A, SAS Dineto. 8B, S. Kirtikesh. 8C, SB Rajakaruna. Art, the Mudaliar and Mrs. D.A. Albert Pereira Memorial Prize, presented by their daughter, the late Mrs. Constance Pereira. P.M.C. De Silva, U. Ashman. Western Music, the Herbert S. Saint C. Pereira Memorial Prize, presented by his wife, the late Mrs. Constance Pereira. D.R. Joseph. Eastern Music, not awarded. Dancing, not awarded. Link Language, the J.S.L. Fernando Memorial Prize, presented by members of his family. 8A, A.A. Arya Singh. 8B, C.O. Karnaratna. 8C, A.J. Kamal Raj. Practical Technology, the the Dr. S.A. Jayavikrama and Mrs. Phoebe Jayavikrama Memorial Prize, presented by their son, Mr. P.E.A. Jayavikrama, an old boy, 8A, A. Thyambikesh, 8B, S. Kirtikesh, 8C, S.B. Rajakaruna. Information and Communication Technology, 8A, A. Thyambikesh, 8B, A.A.R.A. Singer, 8C, U. Ashwant. The student who beat his own mark, presented by the old boys of the 2006 batch, 8A R. Harish, 8B A.J. Jayasundara, 8C P. Sabrikshan. The prize for the best all-round student in grade 8, presented by the Old Thomians Association in the United Kingdom, D. Co. The Miss Mary Karunaratna Memorial Prize for the best student in grade 8, presented by Mr. C. Karunaratna and Mrs. S.M. Gunavardhana, A. Tryambikesh. Thank you, ma'am, for graciously awarding the prizes to the students of the middle school. And now we take a short break. Let us treat ourselves to a delightful performance by our talented school choir. The choir of S.Thomas Preparatory School will now entertain us with Jim Papoli's Give Us Hope. My Voice is Calling, expressing a powerful message of hope for a better world. This piece strikes a universal chord for all to heart. And then it will be followed by the choir will sing a choral tribute to our outgoing headmaster, Reverend Nihal Fernando, and the warden of St. Thomas's College, Reverend Mark Billy Moria, as they both embark on the next chapter following their tenure. Like an Eagle by Carl Stroman. Thank you, boys, for the wonderful performance. Ma'am, once again, I would like to invite you to join us in celebrating the achievements of our students of the upper school by awarding them their well-deserved prizes. Grade 9 General Proficiency prizes presented by the late Mr. R.B. De Silva. 9A WMTD Senaratna, 9B SC Vanyarachi, 9C TPD Vijayanayaka. Divinity, the TCA de Souza Memorial Prize presented by his wife Mrs. Daphne de Souza. 9A HTS known as, 9B KDSLS Nanyakara, 9C WB CV Fernando and JM DSP Jayamana. Buddhism, the Bertram Jayatilaka Memorial Prize, presented by his wife, the late Mrs. Frida Jayatilaka, WMTD Senaratna. Hinduism, the K. Balasubramaniam Memorial Prize, presented by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. M. Kanapadi, S. Yadushigan. Islam, Mr. and Mrs. I.N.M. Muhammad Memorial Prize, presented by their sons, Mr. M.M. Mazook and Mr. M.M. Ansari, all boys, not awarded. First language, Sinhala, Tamil. Prizes presented by the late Mr. Daya P. Udalagama, an all boy, 9A DNN Uvage, 9B GCM Punchiheva, 9C C. Varun. English second language. Prizes presented by Mr. M. Rushdie, an old boy. 9A WM H.A. Veerasekara, 9B SC Vanyarachi, 9C TPD Vijayanayaka. Mathematics. Prizes presented by Mr. M.M. Ansari, an old boy. 9A DNN Uvage, 9B SCK Ranasinghe, 9C C. Varun. Science. Mrs. Usnabai Adamali Memorial Prize, presented by Mr. Akbar Adamali, an old boy. 9A DM Jayasuriya, 9B HLS Rajapaksha, 9C TPD Vijayanayaka. History. Prizes presented by the late Mr. Ivan Lee Dasanayaka Senior, an old boy. 9A DNN Uvage, 9B SC Vanyarachi, 9C C. Varun. Geography. 9A DM Jayasuriya, 9B SC Vanyarachi, 9C C. Varun. Art, prizes presented by Mr. M.M. Ansari, an old boy, D.N.N. Uvage, S. Yadushikan. Western Music, prizes presented by Mr. M.M. Ansari, an old boy, D.M. Jayasuriya. Eastern Music, W.B. C.V. Fernando. Dancing, J.C. Darbakirti. English Literature, prizes presented by the late Mr. Ivan Lee Disanayaka, Senior, an old boy, W.M.H.A. Veerasekara. Link Language, prizes presented by Mr. K. Ravindran, an old boy, 9A, D.L. Daniel, 9B, G.C.M. Puncheva, 9C, Sivaro. Practical Technology, the Ruth Serasinghe Memorial Prize presented by her son, Mr. Priyantha Serasinghe, an old boy, 9A, D.N.N. Uvage, 9B, G.C.M. Punchieva, 9C, J.M. D.S.P. Jayamana. Information and Communication Technology, 9A, DPBS Dikwella, 9B, SC Vanyarachi, 9C, TPD Vijayanayaka. Health and Physical Education, the Shiranika Asirvadam Memorial Prize presented by a member of a family, 9A, W.M.H.A. Veerasekara, 9B, S.C. Vanyarachi, 9C, C. Varun. The Student Who Beat His Own Mark, presented by the old boys of the 2006 batch, 9A, M.Y. Alexander, 9B, GSM Stephen, 9C, E.T. Sigamani. The prize for the best all-round student in grade 9, presented by the Old Thomians Association in the United Kingdom, W.M.H.A. Veerasekara. The prize for the best student in grade 9, prize presented by Dr. Prince Vijay Ratna, an old boy, S.E. Vanyarachi. Grade 10, General Proficiency, the D.R. Vijayawardena Memorial Prize, presented by his son, Mr. Ranjit Vijayawardena, an old boy, 10A, U. Ovian, 10B, S. Kajanan, 10C, M. Sheon. Divinity, the Reverend Celestine Fernando Memorial Prize, presented by his wife, the late Mrs. Nora Fernando, and Mr. and Mrs. Hiran Fernando, 10A SK Israel, 10B KJD Murugan, 10C PSW Costa. Buddhism. The Mr. and Mrs. D.L. Valikala Prize, presented by their daughter, the late Mrs. Frida Jayatilaka, MMI Marvel. Hinduism. Mr. and Mrs. Chittambalam Memorial Prize, presented by their son, the late Mr. Ananda Chittambalam, and old boy J. Pramod. Islam. The Muhammad Salim Sadoon Memorial Prize, presented by his parents, Mr. and Mrs. M.M. Sadoon, A. Sulaiman. First language, Sinhala, Tamil. Prizes presented by the late Mr. Lal Soisa and old boy. 10A MMI Mavella, 10B T.C. Gunasekara, 10C M. Sheon. English second language. The Moeddin A. Khader Memorial Prize, presented by his brother, the late Honorable Jabir Abdul Khader MP. 10A T. Santosh, 10B KJ Jayasekara, 10C M. Sheon. Mathematics. The M. Tyagaraja Memorial Prize, presented by the late Mr. B. A. Rajanathan. 10A T. Santosh, 10B S. 1111, 10C M. Sheon. Science. Mrs. Husnabai Adamali Memorial Prize, presented by Mr. Akwa Adamali and old boy. 10A U. Ovian, 10B S. 1111, 10C MMI Marvel. History. Prizes presented by the late Mr. Ken Choksi, PZ, MT and old boy. 10A R. Kolamage, 10B L by N Lianage, 10C M. Sheon. Art. Prizes presented by Mr. Krishan Kanakaratna and old boy. HSSPD Silva, U. Ovian. Western music. Prizes presented by Mr. Krishan Kanakaratna and old boy MMI Mavella. Eastern music. NM Matapathage. Dancing not awarded. English literature. The Quintus Pali Guru Memorial Prize, presented by his sons Messrs. Mahendra and Nimal Palyaguru, old boys K. J. D. K. Jayasekara. Sinhala literature D. Pereira. Tamil literature M. Preethan. Business and Accounting Studies prizes presented by the late Mr. K. N. Choksi, PZ, MP and old boy. 10A S. Sudipshan, 10B Y. N. Lenage, 10C M. Sheon. Citizenship, Education and Governance, the Dr. Douglas Valathara Memorial Prize presented by his wife, the late Mrs. Hermie Valathara, not awarded. Geography, MMI Mavella. Health and Physical Education, the Mr. and Mrs. D.A.T. Vijayawardena Memorial Prize presented by their grandson, Dr. Dinu Vijayawardena, and old boy R. Kolavage. Information and Communication Technology, Mrs. Sita Valagampaya Memorial Prize presented by her son, Mr. Dhammika Valagampaya. 10A U. Ovian, 10B S. Kajanan, 10C MMI Mavella. The student who beat his own mark. 10A AYR Gunasekara, 10B OJ Sivakumar, 10C RK Kulasekara. The Mermaid Saint S.Kasi Chetty Memorial Prize for the Best All-Round Student in Grade 10 presented by his sons C.D. and N.Y. Kasi Chetty. P.S.W. Costa. The J.S.F. Fernando Memorial Prize for the Best Student in Grade 10 presented by the Old Boys Union M. Sheon. Grade 11 General Proficiency, Mr. and Mrs. H.A.J. Ulugalla Memorial Prize presented by the children. 11A S. Chandrayan, 11B S. Kirtikesh, 11C R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Divinity, the Bishop Harold de Souza Memorial Prize for Divinity presented by Dr. Mrs. R.T. Dimel and Mr. Jarit Dimel and old boy. 11A A.S. Nagaratnam, 11B K.Ch. Fernando, 11C A.J. Arnold. Buddhism, the Justice C.B. Valagampaya Memorial Prize presented by his son Dr. G.N.B. Valagampaya, K.A.D.R. Dasis and R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Hinduism, prize presented by Mr. and Mrs. N. Ratnasabhabadi, S. Kirtikesh. Islam, Mr. and Mrs. I.L.M. Muhammad Memorial Prize presented by their sons Mr. M.M. Mazu and Mr. M.M. Ansari, old boys, I. Hafi. The prize for the first language, Sinhala, Tamil, presented by the former President of Sri Lanka, the late Honorable R. Premadasa, MP. 11A MNI Vikramathilaka, 11B RMJ Rajapaksha, 11C S. Kirtikesh and D. Silation. English Second Language. The W.T. Keeble Memorial Prize presented by the Old Boys Union. 11A B. Rifas, 11B J.A. Rajadurai, 11C R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Mathematics, the N.G. Abhinayaka Memorial Prize, presented by the Old Boys Union. 11A S. Chandrayan, 11B S. Kirtikesh, 11C S.S. Jaisingha. Science, Mrs. Usanabai Adamali Memorial Prize, presented by Mr. Akbar Adamali, an old boy. 11A K.T. Ilaperuma, 11B K.H. Fernando, and 11C R.M.J. Rajapaksha. History, the William Gopalava M.B. Memorial Prize, presented by his son, the late Honorable Monty Gopalava MP, an old boy. 11A S. Chandrayan, 11B K.H. Fernando, 11C R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Art, the Ivan Mark Pires Memorial Prize, presented by his sister, Mrs. Upali Vijayatunga, R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Western Music, prizes presented by Mr. and Mrs. Mervyn Jayaratna, V. Karthihan. Eastern Music, K.A.D.R. Dasis. Dancing, R.A.D.T.A. Tenacon. English Literature, Quintus Palyaguru Memorial Prize, presented by his sons, Messrs. Mahendra and Nimal Palyaguru, old boys, K.H. Fernando. Sinhala Literature, S. Singha. Tamil Literature, T. Yatish. Business and Accounting Studies, the William Gopalava M.B. Memorial Prize, presented by his son, the late Honorable Monty Gopalava MP, an old boy. 11A is Chandrayan, 11B T. Yatish, 11C R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Citizenship, Education and Governance, Mr. and Mrs. H.A. Kotegoda Memorial Prize, presented by their daughter, Mrs. S. Evage, not awarded. Geography, K.H.A.T. Kemita. Health and Physical Education, Miss Queenie Bowen Memorial Prize, presented by Mr. Joanne De Silva, an old boy. H.M.G. Pereira. Information and Communication Technology, the C. Nadaraja and A.T. Sabarata Memorial Prize, presented by Dr. Y. Arunan, an old boy. 11A is Chandrayan, 11B is Kirtikesh, 11C, Desilation. The Navam and Bimala Niles Memorial Prize for the best student who beat his own mark, presented by S.N. Niles, an old boy. 11A, WMNNB Vijay Sundara. 11B, BBPA Sirivardhana. 11C, JNN Jalak. The J.S.L. Fernando Memorial Prize for the best student in grade 11, presented by the Old Boys Union. R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Thank you, ma'am, for graciously awarding the prizes. Now, some of our talented members of the school orchestra will entertain us this morning with a musical interlude showcasing their talents. Thank you, boys, for that lovely performance. I'm pleased to welcome our esteemed chief guest this morning, Warden Reverend Mark Bilimuria, to present the special prizes. Special prizes. Prize for English solo singing present to a student of the primary school, MC Dandugama. Choir prize for the most promising treble, MS De Soisa. Prize for the head chorister presented by the Reverend Suresh Dias Bandanayakar and old boy N.D. Augustine. Choir prize for senior members of the choir presented by the Reverend Suresh Dias Bandanayakar and old boy J.Y. Ashok Kumar, K.J. Fernando, S. Karthihan. The late Nirmal C. Piris M.A. Cantap Memorial Prize for English Drama donated by his son Harim Piris and old boy, not awarded. Cup for the best Canadian dancer, I.D. George. The J.E.M. Obesekara Memorial Prize for the best results at the General Certificate of Education Ordinary Level Examination May 2024 presented by his son, the late Mr. R.I. Obesekara, PC and old boy, T.K. Kurpuarachi, K.N. Padmasiri, N.D. Jatunga, L.S.D.R. Pereira. Prize for Modern History of Sri Lanka presented by the late Dr. H.N.S. Karunatilaka and old boy R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Prize for the best student in English in grade 10 presented by the class of 92C in memory of the late Miss Christopher Dwight, KJDK Jayasekara. Prize for the best science student in grade 11 presented by Dr. Thurai Rahulan and old boy R.M.J. Rajapaksha. The M. Tyagaraja Memorial Prize for the best student in mathematics in grade 11 presented by the 10C class of 1983 S.S. Jayasinha. Special prizes for essays. Grade 6 prize presented by Mr. Akbar K. Adamali and old boy Sinhala by R. Kannangara, Tamil S. Mirdad, English G. Vinayagan. Grade 7, The Early A. Peary's Memorial Prize, presented by his son, Mr. Prashanta J. Peary's an old boy. Sinhala, W.D.A. Soiza. Tamil, A.C. Arun Prem. English, D.D.H. Pereira. Grade 8, prize presented by Mr. M.H. Yusufali. Sinhala, Y.D. Etyarachi. Tamil, P. Kabinash. English, A. Tyambikesh. Grade 9, the Dakshan Jayatilaka Memorial Prize presented by his brother, Mr. Rohan Jayatilaka, an old boy. Sinhala, HTS known as. Tamil, C. Varun. English, S.C. Vanyarachi. Grade 10, Mrs. Rose Peary's Memorial Prize presented by her son, Mr. M.P.I. Peary's an old boy. Sinhala, M.P. Dasanayaka. Tamil, M. Sheon. English, S.D.J. Tashishas. Grade 11, the P. Saravanamuthu Memorial Prize presented by his son, the late Mr. Ajit Saravanamuthu, an old boy. Sinhala, R.M.J. Rajapaksha. Tamil, V. Karthihan. English, N.D. Augustine. Prize for the Best Senior Orator, presented by the former President of Sri Lanka, the late Honorable J.R. Jayawardena. Sinhala, J.M.D.S.V. Jayamana. Tamil, N. Yugapriyan. English, K.H. Fernando. Mrs. Constance Pereira Memorial Prize for the Best Junior Orator, presented by members of her family. N.C. Kumaradasa. Interhouse Challenge Trophy for Debating, presented by Mr. A.C.S. Varnasurya, an old boy, O-level batch 1987, Keble House. Prize for the Best Senior Debater, presented by Mr. A.C.S. Varnasurya, an old boy, O-level batch 1987. Sinhala, M.N.I. Vikramatilaka. Tamil, N. Yugapriyan. English, N. Yugapriyan. General Knowledge Prize for Current Affairs, Junior William Theodore Lavala Memorial Prize, presented by his son, Mr. W.T. Lavala, an old boy, J. Pavitran, and A.M.P.D.K. Vimalasena. General Knowledge Prize for Current Affairs, Senior Sarath Muttetwagama Memorial Prize, presented by his wife, the late Mrs. Manori Muttetwagama, and his son, late Mr. Maitri Muttetwagama, and old boy, S.S. Jayasinha. The MHM Nainamarika Memorial Shield for Islamic Knowledge, presented by his daughter, Mrs. S.J.A. Nawaz Birifas. Cup for the Best Footballer, presented by Mr. R.N. Choksi, QZ, MP, and old boy, T.A. Ravindaraja. Cup for the Best Rugby Player Footballer, presented by Mr. Baron de Oliveira and old boy I.D. George. Cup for the Best Athlete, presented by Mr. R.A. Rathwata and old boy S. Tribashi, who had an outstanding athletic performance this year. Cup for the Best Swimmer, presented by Mr. N.R. Gajendran and old boy K.D.V. Pereira. Cup for the Best Badminton Player, presented by Mr. A. Madonza and old boy D. Jacody. Major Douglas Chapman Memorial Prize, Memorial Trophy for the Best Cadet, presented by the members of his family, Sergeant R.A.D.T.A. Tenacone. The LBP Amarasuriya Memorial Cup for the Best Scout, presented by Mr. L.A.P. Amarasuriya and old boy T.M. Senadira. The N.G. Abhinayaka Memorial Trophy for the Best Scout Recruit, presented by his daughter Mrs. Norma De Silva, S. Hashmitan. Cup for the Best Scout Petrol, presented by Mr. Anumal De Soisa and old boy Raven Petrol. Cup for the Best Chess Player, presented by Mr. N.T. Amarakon and old boy Y.S. Reginald. Cup for the Best Carom Player, W.P.K.S. Othniel. The Ramanayaka Challenge Cup for the Best Scrabble Player, K.A.D.R. Dasis. The Manikam Thambapule Cup for the Best Batsman, Y.B. Gunatilaka. Cup for the Best Bowler, presented by Mr. Ramachandra and old boy Y.B. Gunatilaka. Cup for the best fielder presented by Mr. R.F. Pollier and Old Boy, I.D. George. The Sarita Vijayawardena Memorial Trophy for the most promising under 13 cricketer presented by Haritha and Shani Vijayawardena for the most outstanding under 13 cricketer A.K. Jayawardena. Cup for the most promising under 15 cricketer presented by Asiri Abenayaka in memory of his late cousin Ranil Abenayaka, one-time cricketer and coach S. Fernando. The Dudley Senanayaka Memorial Cricket Shield presented by the late Mr. Robert Senanayaka, awarded to the best all-round cricketer by B. Gunatilaka. Best Basketball Player Trophy presented by Mr. R.A.S. Dimale and Old Boy, N.D. Augustine. Captain Jayanta Vagishwar Memorial Cup for the best tennis player presented by his wife, the late Mrs. Kamala Vagishwaran, S.I.A. Jayawardena. Cup for the best table tennis player, J. Rajendra. Cup for the best shooter, IM SH10 Ilangakon. Broadman Veeratunga Challenge Trophy for music, dance and drama, not awarded. The Inter-House Challenge Cup for Athletics, presented by the late Mr. and Mrs. G.V.F. Willie, Kapitagania House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Cricket, presented by the late Mr. N.K. Choksi QZ, Abenayaka House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Soccer, presented by the late Mr. and Mrs. G.S. Matheson, Kapitagania House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Swimming, presented by the late Professor and Mrs. D.A. Ranasinghe, Kapitagania House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Tennis, presented by Messrs. Ranil, Neomal and Roshan Bagishwara, Old Boys, Kapitagania House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Badminton, Kapitagania House. Inter-House Basketball Trophy, presented by Mr. R.A.S. Dimale and Old Boy, Kapitagania House. The R.O. Buell Challenge Cup for Inter-House Chess, presented by his son, the late Dr. Deva Anugram Buell and Old Boy, Keeble House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Carom, Abenayaka House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Table Tennis, Keeble House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Rugger in memory of P.I.D. Pereira, Abenayaka House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for rifle shooting, Keble House. Mrs. Neeta Muthukumaru Memorial Shield for Inter-House Scrabble, Keble House. Mr. and Mrs. M. Saint S. Kasichetti Memorial Shield for Inter-House Punctuality, presented by members of their family, Abhinayaka House. Inter-House Challenge Cup for Academic Work, presented by the late Sir Oliver Gunathilaka, KBE, Dizeram House. Dimel Challenge Cup for the Best All-Round House, presented by the late Most Reverend Lagdasa Jacob Dimel, Metropolitan, Kapetagania House. Mrs. E.G. Rajaratnam Memorial Scholarship, donated by her children, Dr. Richard Rajaratnam, MD, and Mrs. Nirmalini Newton, RA, DTA, Tennagon. The Randy Rajaratnam Memorial Shield for the most committed SCM member, awarded in his memory by his batchmates, the class of 1982, JMDSP Jayamana. Mr. K.R. and Mrs. Saroja Yogaratnam Memorial Scholarship, donated by her children, F.S. Fernando. The A.R.A. Mukta Memorial Award for the most promising preparatory, the student through learning, behavior and example most likely to make a positive contribution to society, presented in memory of late M. Fahmi Mukta, a past preparatory by the Mukta family, K.H.A. Fernando. The Human Relations Award, prize awarded to a student in the upper school who is voted by his fellow students to be the best at forming harmonious and human relationships, regardless of race, color, caste or creed, presented by Mrs. N.H. Vikramasinghe, PMI Costa. Shield for the most outstanding sportsman of the year, I.D. George. Thank you, Reverend Sir. It is my honor to invite our esteemed headmaster, Reverend R. Fernando, to present this morning's most prestigious award. The JTR Perimbanayagam Memorial Gold Medal for the best all-round student, presented by his children, N.D. Augustine. Now I invite Mr. Chanaka Silva, an distinguished old boy, will now deliver the vote of thanks, followed by N.D. Augustine, the school captain, who will second it.
Honorable Chief Guest, the Reverend Mark Bilimoria, Mrs. Manisha Bilimoria, Right Reverend Dushanta Rodrigo, the Lord Bishop of Colombo, Venerable Christopher Balraj, the Archdeacon of Colombo, the Chaplain, Father Andrew Dasan, Headmaster, Reverend Nihal Fernando, members of the tutorial, administrative and support staff of the school, members of the Board of Governors who are present here, distinguished invitees, my fellow members of the Old Boys Union and past prepites who have taken the interest and the time to be present at this occasion, my dear prepites, parents and family members. Good afternoon. A prize giving is one of the most significant occasions in the school calendar. It is the day on which we recognize the efforts that the students put in and their remarkable achievements throughout a school year. It is therefore my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks today, being the day of the prize giving of our beloved school. I do so on behalf of the entire prep school community. It is also a singular personal honor for me to be doing so. Firstly, because I was a student of this school and it brings me nostalgic memories. And secondly, because the Reverend Mark Bilimoria, Mrs. Bilimoria, the Lord Bishop of Colombo, the Venerable Archdeacon, the Chaplain of the school, the Headmaster, Reverend Nihal Fernando, and most of the others on this stage could be considered my personal friends. So therefore, please permit me to drop the formalities of address and to address you as I usually do. Father Mark, thank you very much for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion today as our chief guest. We are particularly happy to have you amongst us today, as you have always been a friend and a supporter of prep school. You are not only a person who was interested in ensuring the prosperity and development of the college that you were directly in charge of, but you always endeavored to ensure that the other schools and colleges in the St. Thomas's community also excelled side by side with your college. You never hesitated to share the resources of St. Thomas's College with our beloved school. The closeness of the bond you developed between the two schools, we hope will continue for a long time. They were extended to our students generously. As a result, many of our students benefited much from the use of the facilities and resources at college, which undoubtedly contributed to them excelling at their respective sports and activities. I'm sure that the friendships they developed during such times will probably last them a lifetime. Father Mark, we also thank you for your words of wisdom. It is very fitting that you talk to us about our own school, its history and its heritage. It is something that we need to keep in our memories at all times. You are always frank and forthright in your comments, and we appreciate the candor and the spirit with which you make them. It makes your words all the more meaningful, always. I have no doubt that our young prepites here and all the others who are present here will remember your words for a long time. Manisha, We are equally delighted to have you here today along with Father Mark. We also wish to thank you very much for gracing this occasion and distributing the prizes to our prize winners. Father Bishop, you are never a stranger to us. You have always guided our school and you always stand by our school. And it's a pleasure to have you here gracing this occasion. And we thank you for always standing by prep school whenever we need you to do so. Father Nihal, let me also take this opportunity to thank you for the leadership you have given the school as the headmaster. We appreciate the hard work that has been put in by yourself and each of the members of the staff. It is that hard work that has brought about the results and the achievements that we celebrated today. We appreciate it very much. We who have studied in this school know very well the dedication and the commitment with which the staff of the school nurtures each of the students of this school. The guidance that is provided by the school does not end with tutorial instructions. It never did. The caring, the discipline, the sense of tolerance of different persons with different ideas that is inculcated in the students during their time in school prepares the little kids that enter the gates of this school into year 1, clinging to the hands of their parents, to leave the school as independent young men, well equipped to further their studies and to face the harsh realities of life. This was the theme that was articulated by Father Mark in his speech, and we are happy to see that that is still functional and being carried on by the staff of the school. Thank you very much for that. Although I took office in the executive committee of the Old Boys Union several decades after leaving school, perhaps about 4 decades after leaving school, I see the same dedication and commitment that I enjoyed at the time I was a student in this school being bestowed on the present students by you as the headmaster and by the teachers and the other staff members of the school. It is very welcoming and heartening to see that. And it is this dedication and commitment that makes the students achieve, be it small things or great things. That is what inspires the students. And it is this attitude and this culture that makes prep school what it is. We thank you, Headmaster, and each and every one of the staff members for your efforts in doing so. We, as members of the Old Boys Union, also appreciate the cooperation that was extended to us by you as the headmaster and by all members of the staff of the school. It enabled us to participate side by side with all of you in the development of our beloved school. We hope this spirit of cooperation will continue, and on our part, we assure our continued support and cooperation in all activities of the school. Permit me also to congratulate all the Prepites who won prizes today. You are the reason why we are gathered here today. It is your academic achievements that we celebrate. Whilst attaining these achievements, I hope you realize that it is hard work that brings great results. We are not here today because you got over your competition. That is not the idea of a prize giving. We are here today because we applaud your efforts in reaching these achievements. And I hope you enjoyed your way there. If not, continuing your achievements will become harder and tiresome with time. Learn to enjoy your work. Be encouraged by your achievements. Work harder, achieve better and greater things. Let me also congratulate all the other students of the school who worked hard during the entire year and progressed year after year although they did not win a prize. It is not everyone who will win a prize, but everyone can improve, everyone can progress, and everyone can achieve with hard work, dedication, and determination. Remember that you are a prepite. You have privileges that many others do not have, but aspire to have. Make use of it. Make use of the opportunity that you have. Do not be deterred by difficulties and obstacles which come your way. If you embrace the culture of this school more than any subjects that you will study, that culture will prepare you to face the world. And dear parents, thank you for being present here today. To encourage your sons on their achievement. I think that one of the best things that my parents did for me was to send me to prep school. You have made the same choice for your sons. Looking back, more than the subjects that we learn, what helps us navigate life are those life lessons that we learned in this school, the culture of the school that I spoke of before. And this is well articulated in our school hymn. If you look at the third verse, this is how it goes. Help us to work as thou didst work, with honest effort, patient care. Help us play as thou didst play, unselfish, keen, and fair. The rich diversity that we have in the school, the culture of respect for others, the culture of tolerance are all aspects of it. Whilst your sons do their studies and pass their exams, encourage them to embrace this rich heritage of our school that will place them in good stead to face the world. Let me also take this opportunity to thank all the invitees and the special friends who are here with us to celebrate this occasion with us. And at this point, let me move from the traditional ambit of a vote of thanks at a prize giving, because this is an even more special occasion. Father Mark and Father Nihal, this will be perhaps the last prize giving of St. Thomas's Prep School that you will be attending in your capacities respectively as the Warden of St. Thomas's Mount Lavinia and the Headmaster of Prep School. I think that both of you have a lot of things in common. Both of you are obviously clergy persons, but the similarities do not stop there. Both of you serve the respective institutions with great dedication and distinction. Both of you served during times of unprecedented challenge. You served during an unprecedented pandemic and unprecedented turmoil in the country. During both these periods, you steered your respective schools very successfully. The respective institutions you served flourished during your tenure. The standards of education, achievements in sports, as well as the infrastructure of the schools greatly improved during your respective tenures. One only has to look to see the improvements that has taken place. And despite the fact that you were Christian clergy persons, you encouraged and celebrated the rich religious and ethnic diversity in our schools, a hallmark of our schools. Of course, it is not as if there were no detractors, but that's a part of life. Fortunately, if I may borrow the words of that song made famous by Frank Sinatra, there were a few, too few to mention. After all, if not for them, life would have been boring. What is important is that both of you went ahead and continued with the work that had to be done, undeterred by criticism and obstacles. You gave exemplary leadership, and you have made a lasting impression on the lives of the student and the staff under your care. We congratulate you on your respective achievements in the respective schools that you headed. And we thank you from the depths of our hearts for your dedicated service to our respective schools that you headed. We wish you all the best for the future. Our thoughts and prayers will remain with you. Thank you.
Our chief guest for the evening, the warden of St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, and the former headmaster of St. Thomas's College, Guruthalava, Reverend Mark Billy Moria and Mrs. Billy Moria, the Bishop of Colombo, Your Lordship, the Right Reverend Dushanta Lakshman Rodrigo and Mrs. Rodrigo, our headmaster, Reverend Nihal Fernando and Mrs. Fernando, school chaplain, Reverend Andrew Devadasan, sectional heads, Mr. Nilushan Silva, Miss Yvonne Charles, and Mrs. Nishanti Logaraj, members of the Board of Governors, a former headmaster, Mr. N.Y. Kazichetti, headmaster of St. Thomas's College, Guruthalava, Mr. Laksari Pereira, sub-warden of St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, Mr. Asanka Pereira, distinguished guests, teachers, parents, and my fellow students. It is my privilege to address you today as the school captain of our esteemed school at the prize giving of 2024, a moment dedicated to celebrating and honoring the outstanding accomplishments of our students. I am deeply honored to be standing here in front of our fellow teachers as they have played a pivotal role in shaping me into the person I am today. I am immensely grateful to them as they have guided me throughout my journey as a prepite and bestowed upon me values that I will carry on wherever I go from here on out. As the school captain, I have had the privilege of learning many lessons throughout this year, but there are three in particular that stand out to me the most. They are leadership and responsibility, communication, and time management. Each of these different skills play a big role in not just being the school captain, but is something that we all need to instill in ourselves, and I have had the privilege to do so through my experience of leading the student body. On this very special occasion, where we have gathered to identify and celebrate the achievements of our students, I would like to take a moment to recognize the hard work and dedication shown by the students in the classroom and on the playing field throughout this entire year, as they have shown us what we can achieve with absolute persistence and perseverance. Through your achievements, every one of you stand as an example for future prepites to come. As we have recognized the achievements of our fellow students, it is important that I note that success is not only measured through grades, but also through your perseverance and ability to keep pushing no matter what life throws at you. I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to the following individuals. Our chief guest for the evening, Reverend Mark Billy Moria, has stood as a great inspiration to the boys over at St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia and St. Thomas's College, Guruthalava, an individual loved by everyone who knows his name. Our dearest headmaster, Reverend Nihal Fernando, who has shown his true love to prep school ever since he was called to lead this school, has been a true example to all the students these past years that we should keep on chasing our dreams no matter the hardships we face, and has guided the school through the midst of challenges and showed unwavering support to every individual of this school. The Bishop of Colombo and former headmaster, His Lordship, Right Reverend Dushanta Lakshman Rodrigo, who had not only groomed me through my time at prep school, but inspired the students to achieve greatness during his time of administration. The Board of Governors, who have showed unwavering support to the school. The school chaplain, Reverend Andrew Devadasan, who who has led by example in showing the students how to be a child of God. The sectional heads, Mr. Nilushan Silva, Miss Yvonne Charles, and Mrs. Nishanti Logaraj, for being there for the students who are at different points in their journey here at prep school. The Prefect of Discipline, Mr. Upul Navaratna, who has worked tirelessly to ensure the discipline of students is kept and also led the prefects throughout this entire year. The Prefect of Games, Mrs. Nirmala Hariharan, and Sports Coordinator, Mr. Sheikh Mazin, for ensuring the events conducted throughout the entire course of this year flawlessly. The Prefect of Extracurricular Activities, Mr. Gayan Binduheva, who has played a crucial role in ensuring the school events and activities conducted by clubs and societies are running smoothly. The Old Boys Union, ensuring that the legacy and community spirit of the institution continue to thrive. My dearest teachers, who have been working tirelessly to instill knowledge in our students and have contributed massively to the benefit of the school and the students as well. Parents, for their love and support and their tireless efforts to ensure the success of the students. The Prefects Guild, who have been there by my side and have led the student body throughout the year. And the prize winners, who stand here today as a pillar of inspiration to the students and have shown the results of hard work and dedication. To all those part of the prep school family, recognize the opportunities that you have been given and carry on the lessons and qualities that it has offered to you, because wherever this life takes you, prep school will always hold a special place in your heart. Thank you. The Lord is my shepherd.
Please rise. Now, the Lord Bishop of Colombo, Right Reverend Dushant Rodrigo, will lead us with the blessing.
Lord, we thank you for another year that we have spent under your care and your guidance and your inspiration. We thank you for the labors of all those who gave of their very best for the good of this school. We thank you for Father Nihal and Chinta as they move on, and for the boys who will journey with them. Lord, undertake for this school beyond their time, and Lord, we pray that your hand of blessing will be upon us all. And I want to God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Spirit, bless, preserve and keep you this day and forevermore. Amen.